Welcome to GMEDD's interview with the one, the only Ryan Cohen. I'm Joe Fonicello, your host for the next hour. Ryan serves as the chairman of GameStop and the manager of RC Ventures. Ryan, this is your first public appearance in over 2 years and the only time you've sat down with anyone for an extended interview like this. Why have you remained so quiet despite the attention?
Well, first of all, thank you for hosting me. I've been incredibly impressed with the level of diligence that GMEDD has done for GameStop and for the community. And I couldn't think of a more appropriate channel to have this conversation with. Secondly, in terms of why haven't I done anything up until now, I haven't had time. I've been focused on work. So sorry for my dog in the background. But I haven't had time. I haven't had time to play. I've been focused on work, so it's taken up all of my time.
Before everything with GameStop, you are the founder and CEO of Chewy at the age of 25. Can you talk about what building Chewy meant to you and what you learned from that
Can
experience?
you hear the dog in the background?
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's a real dog, by the way. It's not just sound effects.
Yeah.
What did I learn from Chewy? Chewy was hard. We built Chewy in Florida. It was very hard to raise capital. We were a bunch of nobodies. It's like 3 states basically account for like 75% of venture capital: New York, California, and Massachusetts. So raising capital was really difficult at Chewy. Attracting talent was very difficult at Chewy. Especially being in Florida, the talent pool was pretty limited. And we were selling 30-pound bags of pet food online. And so that wasn't very popular either against the backdrop of pets.com. So first, everyone said pets, you can't make the unit economics work selling 30-pound bags of pet food. And then once we had positive unit economics, everyone said that Amazon was going to crush us. And neither of those things were true. But it was very, very tough. It's a low margin business. Part of the secret sauce was just how we structured it. We had negative working capital. We took the business from like 200 million to 3.5 billion. We burned through less than 150 million of cash, even though we accumulated significant losses. We turned our inventory over faster than our payment terms. But granted, going head to head against Amazon, selling 30-pound bags of pet food in the mail, tough business.
Yeah.
GameStop, on the other hand, in many ways, Chewy was like a new construction. We built the business from the ground up, knew the business inside and out. GameStop is different. We inherited a bunch of legacy everything and underinvestment across the entire business, people, the entire technology stack, just decades of neglect. And so it's hard to turn around a brick and mortar retailer that's under the kind of pressure that GameStop was and continues to be under. But that was also part of the attraction going into GameStop, was that a transformation the likes of GameStop was really unprecedented. And I was motivated by that. And, similarly, selling 30-pound bags of pet food in the mail was also very unpopular, and we figured it out. So, yeah, I like tough things. I don't like to make my life easy for whatever reason.
You've made yourself into a pretty prolific activist investor. Is RC Ventures evaluating other opportunities in this market, and what do you look for?
I'm always looking for opportunities. What do I look for? Yeah, and of course, I mean, it's definitely a better environment and market to allocate capital today than it's been, in a very, very long time, at least in the past decade. So I like consumer businesses. That's my core competency, and I like simple businesses.
How big is RC Ventures?
You're looking at RC Ventures team.
So why did you invest in GameStop?
I invested in GameStop because I thought it was cheap. I thought the intrinsic value of the business was worth more than the price that I paid. There was a tremendous amount of skepticism around GameStop. And those are the things that I like. I like looking at things where no one is looking at them. Those are usually some of the best opportunities. And I'd say the opposite of that is IPOs, where, the animal spirits are out and everyone's kind of
Mm-hmm.
standing in line trying to give them money. GameStop was on the opposite end of that. No one was interested in investing in GameStop at the time that I made the investment. It was hugely unpopular, and those are the things that attract my attention. I'm contrarian by nature, and so it was a pretty contrarian investment at the time.
Yeah, there are some contrarians online. What did you know about the enthusiasm from some retail investors over GameStop on digital communities like Wall Street Bets?
I learned about. I mean, I'd say I only really noticed it when I filed my 13D. I lost my 13D virginity in August of 2020, so I was a late bloomer, and that's when I noticed retail activity. And then when I filed subsequent amendments, I noticed it, but it was something that snowballed over time, and it was impossible to predict, frankly. So obviously, we know what happened. We know what happened afterwards in January, but I learned about it really when everyone else learned about it.
Yeah, last we spoke, you referred to the events of January 2021 as one of the most fascinating things that has happened in the history of financial markets. And it was life-changing for us retail investors. What was it like for you?
When I decided to join the board, personally, I made a long-term commitment to be at the company for an extended period of time. And so there was a lot of deliberations, or I'd say board drama going on after I joined the board, that really had nothing to do with the volatility in the markets, and had everything to do just with the transformation and everything going on at the company. And so we changed the composition of the board. We got rid of the entire board. We got rid of all the professional directors. We changed up the entire management team. And so I was focused on making all of the changes at the company. And that consumed all of my time.
Do you think what happened then could ever happen again?
I don't know. I mean, that's hard to predict what's going to happen in financial markets. Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
When you think about the attention GameStop's received since then, how has that impacted the company's transformation?
It's great branding. I mean, there's no amount of money that can get the kind of branding that we got from GameStop. So, it made the company world renowned. It brought a lot of attention to the company, and I mean, I think it was hugely beneficial for the brand.
Yeah, I remember when that happened, we made a post on GMEDD saying this is the great opportunity to rebrand all the stores across the globe to GameStop, because that was just free marketing, for everyone to know the GameStop name. And you did end up changing Canada over to GameStop. So founding a company poses a different set of challenges than transforming a legacy business. How are Chewy and GameStop different or alike?
They're both contrarian, selling, there was all the comparisons with Chewy to Pets.com and then GameStop to Blockbuster. It was harder to raise capital at Chewy. It was, every time we raised capital, we basically had one option. When we were hiring was very difficult. We were unknown quantity in Florida. I'd say at GameStop, we've been able to raise capital. We're fortunate that we were able to do 2 ATMs. It's been easier to hire, being in the public markets and having that level of visibility. But in terms of the actual business, the business is more challenged at GameStop. Even if you look at the cohorts and the customer retention at Chewy, selling consumables online, we had really sticky customers. And at GameStop, it's completely different. You don't have sticky customers. So, we had a payback period and a certain lifetime value, whereas at GameStop, you got to make back your money right away when you spend money on customer acquisition. So it's definitely a different